I have another question. What about, do you have any observations on your clients, biotech companies, pharma clients, pharma companies throughout the 2008 crisis? What measures did they take compared to what did you take? Anything different or?
Well, yeah, it was very different. We had both. We had pharma and biotechs, and that was very important. I think we also learned from that how important was diversity on type of customers, because when it comes to pharma, they have a very strong, always cash position as a sector. That means that, I mean, they were paying our bills. But nevertheless, of course, I mean, they had to take a lot of, actions. No, I remember they prioritized a lot the pipeline. So they were exploring many new indications and many new disease, and they just put a strong priority on the pipeline. If you were lucky that your studies were on the pipeline as a CRO, I mean, your continuity business was going on. No, they also reduced the research and development investment, so that means that they reduced a lot the fixed cost, and we saw at that time many of our customers being laid off. I mean, that was very tough, no? So they reduced really the teams. On the other hand, because, the CROs started to pick up much more earlier, we helped some of our customers also to find positions, in other sectors. That's why it's so important, at that time to be so close to your customers. But definitely we were very impressed. It was one of the measures, right? They reduced costs, fixed costs, they reduced investments in research and development, but dramatically they increased the outsourcing and partnering. That was, that was a completely different strategy. So they started to outsource almost everything they could in research and development. And we were on the right side, at that time we were on the right side because we were there. Of course, we had to make a big effort. Not all the CROs could be on that growth, because we had to expand to Eastern Europe. We had to expand into the US. Everything became more global. So mainly the global CROs were the one growing more. So we also had to do our own homework on adapting to those measures. No, that was fun. Biotech was much more. It was sad. Much more tough. Venture capital funding went down. We saw some of our customers, being bankrupt. So we had to help them. We had to end those projects with very limited budgets. We had to be very creative because we really wanted to help them. And again, it's super important not being depending of more than 20% of your revenues in one customers. Try to have like two sectors, pharma and biotech. That's a little bit my lessons learned on the measures they took.
Yeah. By the way, when you said, when you mentioned about biotech during the 2008 crisis, it was a financial crisis. I think it was caused by a financial problem in the end of the day. So one thing that I know, at least I'm following the landscape on investors and fundraising, etc. One thing that we know is that now, at least, a lot of the VCs are full of cash, actually. They do have a lot of money. It's just that they're going to be a little bit more conservative when they are to allocate their money. So maybe it will take a while until they're open and start investing in different companies. But I do think that for the biotech today will be a different situation than the one it was 2008. So that brings me to my next question. What do you think about this crisis? Like, is it the same? How is it different? What do you expect?
I rather would say it's not the same. Again, I reinforce what I believe. That was a completely pure financial crisis, which we will have, which we are having right now. But this is a health crisis, no? So when it comes to our sector, I mean, we have the focus right now. We are the ones that are going to bring solutions into this health crisis together with the financial crisis. So I think we are in a very strong position right now. I think that we will have the focus and we will have the responsibilities. So we have to feel that responsibility and also that pressure that right now, after this crisis, we are the ones that will have to bring solutions. No? And as you said, that will mean that many venture capital that were investing in different sectors, probably they will focus right now quite a lot in our healthcare sector. So I would say it will not be the same, Maya.
Yeah, it will not be the same. Something that I was discussing earlier with my friends from the industry is that I see that like we are seeing this as a great opportunity to really start seeing finally this shift to a more modern industry, so to say, more modern clinical research industry. I see that all the topics we've been discussing in the last conferences, last years, now are becoming a reality. Everything around virtual clinical trials, remote visits, whatever you like, just name it, so to say, remote, virtual, decentralized, etc. And I'm very happy to see that. And I just wanted to mention something to that, though, that my fear is that now, because we have to change overnight, there is also the fear that we're not that prepared. Because come on, how many companies do have the experience with decentralized clinical trials or remote, virtual, however you call it? Not many. And they're forced now, also following the regulations, not the regulations, but the recommendations by the regulators, to jump into this new unknown space. But when they don't know how, they will need really great support. And I know that some of the companies that are true leaders in the space will help them. But again, these are many clinical trials out there ongoing that will need this support. So I'm just afraid that because we're rushing into going to the new things, maybe there will be some not so positive case studies that are going to be like examples. Oh, but this is also not working out. So let's see. No one knows what will happen. What I will just say is, let's focus on the positive and let's unite. And again, that's the other thing we've been discussing. The clinical research industry in general is not the most united one, unfortunately. If you see other industries, they share, they comment, but like the clinical research industry is very competitive, so to say. But I see this really great shift into the opposite. Now people being out there, sharing their experience, trying to help each other, which is a great